Welcome back to the channel. Today's episode is brought to you by my stinking monkey. As you can see there. All right, get out of there. All right, now this is my personal collection of Transformers. This is my E.J. Parker's personal collection of Transformers. Now this is something I acquired over the past probably 9 years living in the USA, at flea markets and whatever. My kids have a much larger collection than I do, and I don't want. And it's a precarious path, featuring mixed collections. I mean, you know, having some of my items mixed with some of my kids' items, because we have so many goddamn Transformers. It's just, you can't remember whose is whose. I mean, we're way past that point. I mean, this is why all the money's gone, folks. This is why there's no money. If you open the money drawer and look, the money's gone because of this stuff. But what are you gonna do? They're too cool. This is just a subjective review of my personal collection. I'm moving my I'm an antique and vintage dealer, and I'm moving my operations inside. I live in Northeast Ohio for the late fall and winter. I'm gearing up for the winter, so I usually operate, list, do everything outside on my patio for my shop, but now it's getting too cold. So I'm moving things inside, and I'm rediscovering joyful toys of yesteryear. Look at this. I featured this. This is my personal Jetfire with a nice off-white tint from the sun. Value is dictated by the white tint of the plastic. You can see the underbelly of Jetfire is a bit whiter, hasn't been exposed to the UV rays. Just a fun story. I got this. My son collects Transformers, and he's young. He was, I think, maybe around not eight years old. And I was building a collection again, just to kind of have a few references as a collector and dealer or whatever. And Jetfire was unattainable as a child, so I bought it as an adult. And at first, my son was like, "Nah, I don't like it, Dad. It's not too cool." And then I was like, "Well, do you know about the secret turbo boosters?" And the boy's eyes began to sparkle, and he soon had a Jetfire of his own. So it's just an awesome toy. I mean, these things are still locked and loaded. The landing gear, they're still dangerous. I mean, you still hurt your fingernails or your fingertips because those things come out with fury, rightfully so. This is a beast to transform. I don't want to do it on video because I'll break it, and this has got a gazillion joints. It's just a work of art. It's a masterpiece. All right, folks, moving along, and this is the E.J. Parker collection of Transformers. Now, I can't say these are all G1s. This is a mix. I kind of forget what's in here, so let's just rediscover together. A gorgeous toy. This is Optimus Prime. This is Ultra Magnus. This is the earlier version with the rubber wheels. There was a later KB toy version that has plastic wheels. This is just gorgeous, and I really think my favorite part of this toy is, I gotta be careful here. This part always makes me nervous, and I'm trying to do this through my phone, so I'm looking through something to do something fragile. Ta-da! Look at his head. That color scheme, that weird, it's almost like a pink red. And that blue is not quite sky blue. It's just awesome. That's what I'm getting at. You can put stuff in there, your fists, ideally. His fists, I don't have. This is his trailer. All right, so let me get this, some like cohesiveness to this display. You still got the decal there. It's a relatively easy transformation. All right. He's got a lot of parts. This is his. It's awesome though. I mean, this is his head that would go on when he's a giant. He can transform into a much larger. This is his trailer, which is just great. It's like a car trailer. You can put. Where's another vehicle? I mean, you can put anything on there. You can put another vehicle on there. You know what I mean? You can pull bad guys you capture. But this transforms into a much larger robot for just ass-kicking ability. Autobot. Look how good that looks. I mean, this toy is still awesome. These are the arms. It becomes a much larger robot. This is his head. The fists are gone. The fist, I mean, I was saying in a prior video, you can pick, like, for that, you know, Ultra Magnus or this Optimus Prime robot, the cab only, like this part, it could be like 25 bucks if it's beat up. But the fists will cost you 50, 60, 70 bucks for the original G1, just those two plastic fists. As you see there, tucked away diligently. Those fists cost way more. I bought them loose from a dealer. Those cost $55, and this costs, I think, $30. Just the way it is. Iconic. I mean, what else can I feature this in videos. It's just an iconic Optimus Prime. This is the earliest version of the G1. There's, I believe, if I gotta dust off my G1 knowledge, I believe there was two versions of the G1, or two like kind of series, like the first series and the second series of the within the G1. And this is, I think, the first. All right, let's see. I want to get to like the more obscure ones that I've kind of forgotten about. Silver Bolt, or Silver Streak. Aerial Bot. He's a Concorde jet. A bygone era. That used to be a big deal, that jet, and then I believe it crashed, and that was like the nail in the coffin. All right. Traveling in the 1980s. This, don't worry, folks, it's unloaded. My finger's off the trigger. This is Megatron. Originally, it was going to be called Megaton, but at the last minute, they changed it to Megatron. I think it was cool. I forget why they changed it, but it's a cool... I mean, this is iconic. I mean, in the 80s, kids, we had Walther P-38s that transformed into robots. And it's got die cast. It's substantial. If you threw this at your little brother, it had, you know, it meant something because it had some heft to it, as opposed to the Transformers of today that are made of plastic. You know what I mean? This is heavy. There's die cast throughout the innards of Megatron. I don't want to... I got him as a kid, as probably like a 4-year-old child. I was really happy. I wanted Optimus Prime initially, but he was sold out. So I happily received him, but he was a hard transformation, so I had to have my father, I think, help me with this. Takara, there's a whole bunch of history behind this. A lot of videos that are very useful. Sunstreaker, I think this is. This is a super iconic. I mean, this just screams early 80s in many, many ways. And I love he's got like this menacing stare. That yellow reminds me of like a ancient Egypt kind of vibe. All right, this is a newer one. So this will be my segue into my flea market theory, or not theory, just observation. So when I moved back to the USA in 2015, I would frequent my local flea market, and I would see every week, like, just G1 Transformers. And they would be, you know, kind of beat up, but you can get them, you know, 15 bucks, maybe 10 bucks or less, or more, depending upon what it is. And that's how my son and I built a pretty large collection. My son's collection is way bigger. But that's how we did it. You know, every weekend you spend 8, 10, 12 bucks and you get 1 or 2 pieces, G1s, you know. So, but those days are gone, folks. Those days are gone. I mean, I go to the flea market every weekend, Saturday to Sunday, and you just don't see G1s anymore. They dried up. People are more savvy. People like me are showing, not me, but like YouTube. I mean, YouTube and eBay, folks are a little bit more eBay savvy and stuff. You know, price goes up. It's the way it is. And popularity continues because they keep making movies. It remains in the public consciousness. And there's the nostalgia from the older folks that want their old toys back. And then like the younger folks that collect vintage and antique want these as genuine vintage toys. You know, there's just a lot of, you know, it's just a popular pop culture series. This is a God dog it. This is an important one too, but this is a oh, come on now. And it shoots out these. It's a cool feature. It shoots or it used to, at least. There you go. The missile This is an important... The bad guy Jet. Come on, EJ. What's his name? Not Thundercracker, not Thunderbolt. It's a Decepticon. Oh, I got really heavily into these jets for a while, and I just forgot that knowledge. What the hell are these things called again? This is a... Now, be careful because Walmart reissued these. There's a few reissues of these jets, so you got to be kind of careful. Because they look a decent amount like the original ones. They always have these little tiny heads. They're so funny. The cockpit opens. I had fun with these toys when I was a kid. This is the Decepticon jets. Oh, I'm totally... It's got a rubber tip, so you don't hurt yourself. I forget the name. I haven't thought about those in a minute. It'll come to me. So, what did I just see that I want to talk about? Oh yeah, okay, so here we go. This is where the money... This is why there's no money. These damn things. So look at this. Goes to Sunstreaker. These are his fists and his missiles. This guy is complete. I think the values on him has gone up. I bought him on eBay, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. At least the value goes up, so you feel, you know, some compensation because, you know, you spend $50 on a toy. It's, you know, it's a lot of money. But then when you check 5 years later and it's gone up, it's like, okay, you feel good. It's like, all right, good. It's an investment, honey. See? We're making money. So this is his accessories. His fists pop out. So, I mean, you can see why they're valuable because they get lost. I mean, come on. To make it this far at a time without some kid losing it, like in the crevice of their, you know, 84 Chevy Caprice, you know what I mean? Like, and to never be seen again. All right, now let's look at this. This is a more modern one. This is a Scion. This is the XD. This is that boxy looking SUV kind of crossover that was intended to be for young people, but then the elderly crowd loved it because it was like 2 inches off the ground. My parents owned one. I came back from China once to visit, and they picked me up in this, and I was like, what? And it was kind of cool inside, but it wasn't good in the snow because it was too light. But it had a lot of headroom inside, and it was literally like 2 inches off the ground. Oh my god, this thing is a beast to transform, but this is an awesome toy. This is a special... It's a modern one. And look at this detail. I think he's even got like a motor weapon. This is a Scion. Made by Toyota. This is great. Rubber tire. I mean, when this is transformed into... I should do an episode on this alone. When it's in vehicle mode, it looks like an authentic model of a Scion XD. I mean, look at this. Skids. That's skids. It's so great. And the robot itself is really nice as well. And it's actually one of my largest Transformers, which is funny because it's a Scion XT. It's cool. It's a really cool toy. That's the flea market. This is also a flea market. This is $1. It's cost me $1. I found it in a junk pile. I jumped in and I closed my eyes and I felt around, you know what I mean? And I pulled this out and it wasn't half transformation. It was like half transformed. So I couldn't tell if it was broken or not. Took it home, cleaned it up, and it's perfect. Now this is just I gotta pop that in. It's just, I couldn't believe it was complete. You know, you never know until you jump in a pile of garbage in front of a crowd of strangers. You know what I mean? Dinobots, look at that. This is Sludge. The lovable Dinobots, lovable yet fearsome, mighty. The scaling was way off for these things. I mean, you know, this is a Brontosaurus, and it's the size of a, I don't know, sedan. You know what I mean? They could have made these way bigger. They would have been way more expensive and probably less accessible to kids. But, I mean, if this was a lot bigger, that could have been so awesome. Just stomping upon smaller, Decepticons. That could, like, imagine like the whole Dinobot team that stood, you know, like a foot tall or a foot and a half tall. That would just be insane. They probably have remade. They probably made those. You know what I mean? I'm not really savvy to the newer. All right. Oh, now we're getting into the GoBots. The GoBots always hang out at the bottom. This is Scooter. Scooter is like a cult favorite, lovable, helpful. He had a big role in the cartoon GoBots in the early '80s. This is a nice toy. It's got a lot of. This is another flea market find, probably from like 2017. The hinges are fragile, so it's remarkable that this guy is complete. I believe you got the rubber, a plastic wheel. This is a great toy. It's probably worth, I don't know, $25, give or take. On the GoBot tip, here we go. We have Turbo. This is also another favorite of everyone. I had this as a kid. I'm sure if you had these kind of toys, you probably did too. Very economically friendly equivalent to Transformers. I was probably 4 when this guy came out, so this is right in my wheelhouse. You could transform that when you were 4. You didn't feel frustrated. You know, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's car with a friendly face, or you could just put it back in car mode. Had all these complicated gigawatt things inside there, which made you feel, you know, like this is like a piece of technology when you're 4 or 5 years old. Kind of still does. That blue tint. That's so, look at this. This is like an iconic 80s toy. Plus his name is Turbo. Turbo is an 80s word. There's a few words that are very 80s. Turbo, something about holding on through the night. That concept is a very 80s concept. You got the light there. How cool is that? Can we make it through the night? It's a very 80s concept. Turbo something is a very 80s concept. And that toy reflects it. All right, this is Beetle. This is another super GoBot, a handsome car, kind of like model in vehicle mode. It's die cast, plastic. This is substantially kind of heavy. I mean, they don't make toys like this anymore, unfortunately. Gorgeous toy. I featured that in the GoBot episode. Get these GoBots out of the way. Now this is sharks. So this is an A-10 Warthog, a super cool plane used by the U.S. military. This is a GoBot. This guy's got a funny transformation. He's kind of hard to transform. This is, oh, what the hell? This is oh, I had it on the tip of my tongue. It's, a Parasite? It was like a Matchbox series for a short run, and like the deal was, yeah, I think a Parasite. These would fold up and fit within a toy car. Hence the name Parasite, and it would like feed off the toy cars, whatever, and it would be inside like a robot in disguise. And then whenever it got to somewhere it wanted to mess around, it would jump out and become this robot, and there'd still be like a toy car, right? I think Parasite. Am I right on that? It's. I found it loose at the flea market. I didn't know what it was, so it was like $1, so I bought it. It's unique. We use it in our GoBot and Transformer games, and it always takes the fall. This is like the first toy to take the fall, but it's kind of cool looking. What is this? This is GoBot. This is like a Fiero, maybe. I don't know what this GoBot's name is. It's got a really funny transformation. I haven't seen the bottom of this toy box in a while. This collection box. These are parts of Transformers. This is Ultra Magnus, I think. This is a Dinobot leg. It's always good to have spare parts. Trust me, to save them. You'll thank yourself. I forget where this head goes to. When you dig around garage sales and you find like good Transformer parts, just be like, hey, how much? $1? Okay, and then just get them because you'll need them one day. Or you can sell them on eBay. Transformer parts are worth a decent amount of money. This is a GoBot. Slicks. I think his transformation is a really big pain in the ass. There's something about this transformation that made me never want to do it again. I forget what it is. There's some kind of trick to it. But he's like I think an F1 race car. Those are early 80s. GoBots out of the way, and then that's almost it. This is a funny GoBot Tuxedo, I think his name is. It's got like a top hat. This like what was that, a Bentley or a Rolls Royce? 1984 Bandai Japan. It's a good looking toy. I mean, like that. It looks like a, you know, genuine toy car, and then it pops out to be a robot wearing a top hat. This I featured before. This is awesome. This is like a Toyota 4x4 from the 80s. This is a GoBot, or it could be a converter. I think it's a GoBot though. Oh, see, this is his grill. Now check this out, folks. This is awesome. His brush guard. It clicks into his chest for extra protection. Now this would have been lost within probably 2.5 seconds of a child under the age of 5 opening that package initially in 1984 or whatever. But look, this is his brush guard. Oh, I mean, this is a miracle that this exists still, this brush guard. Look at that. How cool is that? And it gets cooler because it even has, or had, I think I have. Let me get this popped in correctly. It has like a back rack, whatever they're called, you know what I mean, for your pickup. So it's a good looking toy. You got brush guard and like that rack in the back. I can't find a favorite where it's at, if I have it or not. But look at that. How cool is that? Transforms into a robot. That's that one's become more and more popular for obvious reasons. Is that it for the GoBots? No. This is cool. Let me transform this. This is a super GoBot. GoBots can be polarizing, but I like them. Pop the arms out. He's got a funny name like Baron von Lovejoy or something like that. It's kind of ridiculous. He transforms just like Bug Bite and Psycho, Future Machine. Not too bad. That's why I'm doing it in front of y'all. Let's see. That's it. They have, it's a good looking robot. Green eyes, it's a nice touch. Who goes there? You got these like T-Rex pincher arms. I like the red plastic. I like how they didn't go chrome. The red looks awesome. He's looking around. You got rubber wheels. It's made of die cast. Die cast, for those who don't know. The legs are, I think, die cast with plastic on the top. Die cast, kind of like fenders. I mean, this is how I remember toys in the 80s. More die cast than plastic. This is in pretty good condition. These can be beat up. I like to buy these toys in beat up condition just to build a army of beat up toy GoBots for some odd reason. But this is nice. This is a nice toy, and the transformation is easy. Again, this is series 1 of the Super GoBots. The later series are more obscure and, you know, more valuable and collectible, of course. That slides in. The arms pop in. I love that, how they pop in. That's just kind of like a fun thing even to do even today as an adult. All right, and then look at that's it. And it looks like a Porsche, right? How cool is that? And he's got his weapons in the head. His head, right? Those are like zappers, laser rays. And we got this guy, Leader. This is the Leader A1. Or is it Leader 1 or A1? He is the jet leader. So this is Super GoBot's attempt to copy the glory of Jetfire. These are unloaded. Pardon me. These are not spring-loaded landing gear, and these rear ones are a pain in my butt to get out. So imagine being. Sometimes little kids, they'll have kids have an easier time because they have smaller fingers, but that's just hard. I mean, so you don't have the spring action, but you get what you pay for. So on Jetfire, you just hit it, they pop out almost in a dangerous manner, really fast. But these die cast are these actual. Now listen, let's inspect the landing gear of these 80s toys. Let's inspect the landing gear. It's an actual wheel. Bandai. It's probably made by the same company as Jetfire. It's an actual rolling wheel, so you can come to a rolling stop. Now, what I did here, just so you know, these wings were damaged. The pins popped out and it was loose. So I just found 2 random pins, if you can see there, and it popped, you know, that fit, and it popped in, and it worked on both sides. And no one knows. I mean, it's great. Look at that. It folds in. Now it's taut enough to where the wings usually hold up. A real drag can be like when they're like it's like a loose fit, and like your jet's like, oh, you know, it's like a saggy wing. You don't want that. So it works. So check that out, right? Comparison. Now, just to show you what you're up against. Size, you know, you can sky battle Jetfire versus A1, or they can be buddies going to some mission. But let me just show you. I mean, you can see the detail. I mean, this is not bad. It's cast iron, you know, cast metal, but this is just different level, different league. Check this out. You want rear landing gear? Done. Just hit the button. It hurts my finger. It comes out so fast. And those roll too. And you have this little flap, so you can, you know, your wheels don't get dirty amongst the many battles you experience as Jetfire. Jetfire was once evil, then he changed his ways and became good. If I'm remembering my Transformer lore correctly. So just to give you, and that's what you get. You know what I mean? That's the big difference. Leader 1. His transformation is very easy. If you're not in a GoBots, you can just fast forward this part. That's his face. This is weight. Now you gotta pop these things in. This is just weight. This is like the poor man's Jetfire. You know what I mean? So that pops out like that, and he's done. It takes literally, you know, 8 seconds compared to Jetfire, which can take, you know, half a day for people over certain ages. So it's a handsome toy. I mean, it's not like I'm not knocking it, you know, but Jetfire is just so awesome. It's tough to have the two, you know, together in some ways. So, and that's it. He's got a mission, all right, transform. You know, because when you're playing, that's the other thing. You're playing these things, like, and you want to, like, you got a mission to transform and you got to go fly somewhere. If Jetfire takes even a kid, like, 4 or 5 minutes, or not 4 minutes, like 2 minutes, that's kind of long for play pause, right? There you go. This is a newer one. This is some kind of Rhino. This has got to be a G2. This is Flea Market. This is a Flea Market pickup. What is this? Hasbro 2005. Wow, so this is vintage now. Next year it'll be 2025. So this will be vintage in a few months. All right, this is the last GoBot. This is A1 in the blue color variation. This is the one that most folks had. I had him in gray. He would battle Cycle, the robot, GoBot, evil motorcycle. And you see what I mean here? This is what I'm talking about, the wing flaps. These are a lot looser. I think these ones have a tendency to flap down. Bandai. The blue looks cool. And again, this transforms. I mean, you do this in a second. So for little kids, and you see his cockpit, it's got some decal in there. That's cute. I don't think I've even noticed that. Like a smoky cockpit with decals within. I like it. And then this has got a broken fin, very common. And see the wing doesn't want to cooperate. But that's cool, it's a little A1. Back to Transformers. What the hell is his name? I forget. He's bombastic and lovable. This is a small, these microbots, I forget. I'm really rusty with my Transformer nomenclature. It's just been a hot minute since I've delved into these. And there's just so much information. Isn't that cool? 1984, made in Japan, Takara. Just has a certain look and design. I love it. This is mostly, I think this is all plastic. I believe that's a flea market score. This is part of, see, here we go. I'm building a collection, pieces, parts of the G1 Megatron. He's the gun, the Decepticon leader. And this is, I think, part of his stock. I think. What else we got? This is a new one. This is contemporary GoBot. He found his way in here. He's a police car. And so here you go. It's just all plastic. It's just all plastic except for a few screws made of zinc. It feels just really dainty and cheap. I mean, compared to what they used to be. Just like or objective, you know, just feels light. You know, it just feels like a much cheaper toy. I don't know. That's all I can say. And it's just, it feels less substantial. Those legs always pop out. And last but not least, oh yeah, I forgot about this. I believe this to be a G1. This is a Dinobot. This is like the most obscure Dinobot. I mean, they're not obscure, but like the least, may I say, popular. 1980 Takara. This is great. I didn't have the pterodactyl, but it makes sense. Look at it. You got this laser guns and zappers in his wings. This is beautiful chrome. Dinobot. I want a car. Dinobot chrome. Hey, Elon Musk, make a Dinobot chrome Cybertruck, and then I'll buy it when it's used in like 20 years when it's all beat up. Oh, the price will probably go up in those things. Like, I'm thinking like the price is gonna drop. Like $8,000 for a used Cybertruck in the year, what, 2040? Okay, it'll be beat up and it'll still work, you know, hopefully, or, you know, for those of you who own those. Because I thought about the Cybertruck as far as design, you know, like I'm sure all the iconic cars from the 50s, 60s, 70s, I'm sure when they were released, they were polarizing to the public, which means, you know, that's how they usually become iconic. They either become lost to time and obscure and forgotten, or they make a right-hand turn and become an iconic design. You know what I mean? Think about those cars from the 50s, right? I'm sure they weren't initially loved right off the bat, you know. Hindsight's 2020. As I stretch, it's, I don't know, 8 a.m. This is cool. I forget his name. And then that's it. This is just my, what is this? Oh, this is the seats, the Scion. This is my rubber shark collection. Why not? I like to collect contemporary rubber shark toys because they're zany. This one's fun. I made a Valentine's Day card using these, and I put this in the middle, and I choose you, or you're jawsome. And this rubber is just great. It's super I love rubber, the material, and I love rubber toys, antique, vintage, and contemporary. And when I choose contemporary toys, I choose rubber shark toys. Why? Hell if I know. What else do I got in my rubber shark collection? This probably should be a different video, but what I'm already, you know, the wheels are rolling. This is like a Mega Mouth, I think, or this is Ja Rule, I think, which used to be the old Imperial. What? I can't pick this up on my, made in China, Ja Rule, polystyrene foam beads inside. All new material. This is contemporary. Got this from like a drugstore. What is it, like a Mega Mouth, or what are these called? This is a certain kind of shark. This is a squishy, those beads inside. And then what else? This is funny. Super Reels. What is this? Jinhua, China. I think I may have played a gig there in Jinhua. What is this? All new material. Again, same polystyrene bead. This one is, I like the, looks a little more friendly. Ooh, the black, is that like a mako shark? Or a bull shark? Aren't those the meanest? The meanest? I believe bull sharks could be like the meanest, like most aggressive. Wow, that was cool. What else we got? Look at that. What is this? Chomp. This is that company I can't pronounce. Was it Schling? They make cool toys though. This is made in Shenzhen, China. Shenzhen is southern China. played a lot of gigs in Shenzhen. What else you got? This is, oh, these are cute. This is from that same company I can't pronounce, Shilling. Baby Shark. This is adorable. Now this is Baby Shark, right? You buy 10 of these or 20 and you put them on your fingers and toes. Right? Look at that. I don't think I have 20 of them. I have 2. I think I gave some as gifts. Look at this. I mean, you do a lot of things with these things too. They're super squishy rubber, so they're just fun. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Look at that. Oh, what about the big one? Oh, I mean, it's just, this rubber is great. They picked the right rubber. And the paint, that spray on, it just looks great, right? For you arts and crafts folks and artists, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities, you know, coming out of a mixed media work, out of a painting, like a collage, this, you know what I mean? Stuff it with paper, so, you know what I mean? Anyhow, I hope you've enjoyed this look through my vintage Transformers and GoBots, and apparently my rubber toy shark collection, contemporary rubber toy shark collection. If you like this sort of content, please like and subscribe. If you haven't yet, I appreciate that. My goal is to get 1,000 subscribers by Christmas. So I appreciate your support. And we have a ton more Transformers. If you like this sort of content, as I said, this is why there's no money, folks. This is why there's no money. This is the real reason. You know what I mean? So, as always, thanks for watching and thanks for checking in.